That does.
I gave it to you. Keep that going.
I thought we'd take a look at just briefly how to field strip this gun for the purposes of cleaning, and then some tips on the reassembly. Now with any gun, we'll make sure it's not loaded. We don't want any 30-round bursts going off accidentally. So we'll drop the clip. This is a 30-round box clip. Put it aside. Also for the purposes of cleaning, we'll drop the buttstock. Here's the basic gun that General Thompson designed as the trench sweeper for use in World War I. He had designed it originally without the buttstock to just walk up to the trench and sweep it. Kill all the enemy that's in there trying to kill you. First of all, we're going to make sure that the bolt and actuator is set all the way forward. The safety switch is set to fire, and the selector switch is set to full. Bolt all the way forward, safety switch to fire, selector switch to full auto. We'll turn the gun upside down on a stable surface. Now, there's two little push buttons at the rear of the gun. One is at the very rear, that is the buffer pilot and recoil spring. We'll get to that in just a minute. The underneath portion is right there is the rear handle assembly release. And we're going to push that in and then bring the rear handle assembly back. This will take the rear handle off. We're going to pull the trigger and lift up a little bit as we bring it back. That's the rear handle, trigger, and sear assembly. What we have left is the main frame and upper part of the receiver that contains the buffer pilot and bolt and so forth. Next, we're going to press in on the buffer pilot button and pull it down a little bit, it and the little fibrous washer that comes with it. Be a little careful taking this out. Let it clear. There we go. Buffer pilot and spring. The spring should be of good quality and 10.5 inches in length. The buffer pilot itself is this little bolt, has a little hole which will come in handy when it comes time to reassemble. Has a little fiber washer or wooden washer on it. And one part of this flange is flat and the rest of it is round. That'll also come in handy when it comes time to reassemble. Then we'll pull the bolt and actuator all the way back, and the bolt will just simply lift out. That's the bolt and the firing pin mechanism and the hammer, and also the extractor. Now we'll pull the actuator bolt all the way forward, and this little H-shaped bronze piece is called the bleach lock that General Thompson felt helped stabilize the firing mechanism. It was actually deleted on the later models, the M1 and M1A1, but all the model 1921s and 1928s have it. Then we'll pull the actuator all the way back to the rear and simply push it up and lift it out. Now that empties out the rear part of the receiver, with the exception of the breech oiler, which we can leave in there. The Army training film from World War II recommended not taking that out when you field strip this to clean it. The cleaning of the gun is from this point done like any other barrel and so forth. We will skip over to the reassembly now. I'm going to pause here to get a couple of close-ups. This is the buffer pilot mechanism. As you can see, it's a rod. The recoil spring fits over that. There's a little hole all the way through it, and this will come in handy when it's time to reassemble. There's a flange that has, let me see if I can show that a little better, a flat side and a round side. And then be always careful to keep the wood or fibrous washer part of the buffer pilot handy, not lose it. Now then, let's put this back together. And it's basically going to be just a reversal of what we did to take it down, obviously. First, which was the last part of the field stripping, is dropping the actuator with a little actuator bolt back in. Drop it back in and push it forward. Then we're going to take the bleach lock with a little up written on that part and an arrow pointing towards the barrel, and we just drop that into place right there. Let's maybe slide back and forth. We'll slide that all the way back. We will drop the bolt in, and these little slots in the bolt fit right over the bleach lock. Slides in easily just like that. We're going to pull the bolt all the way forward now. Now to put the spring and buffer pilot back in, this is where it'll take a little trick. The World War II Army training film demonstrated a trick that's really pretty neat. That's the way it'll sit. There's the little hole that we mentioned. The flat part is away from you. We will take a small clean nail, and we're going to place the spring on the buffer pilot about as far as you can, and then put the nail through it a little, like so. So the hub of the nail is coming towards you, and the flat part of the buffer pilot flange is away from you. Now this will be a lot easier to drop in, much easier. It can be a bitch otherwise to drop this thing in. Set it in like that. Once it's set, just pull the nail out, and spring tensions, and we're ready to go. And then the last part is putting the rear handle and its assembly on. We're just going to ease it on. And bring it forward. We'll work the action several times, and it's ready to rock and roll. This 70-year-old gun with care will last another 70 years, even with active shooting. That's it for now. Have fun and be careful out there.